All right, man. I got a special guest today. Somebody who's my personal favorite. She always gives me just good energy. We work together. We brainstorm together. We're always every time we're on the phone, we talk about one thing, and then it just leads to different ideas, man. So this is Ashley Gross. She is the CEO of Harvest Time Financial. She's a financial advisor. She does life insurance. She helps you with your credit. She is working on online course, right? She just does, a lot. I like to say that she is a financial guru. I'm not one. I'll say that right now. I'm not one. I do one thing good and I stick to it. But Ashley, it's good to see you. How you doing today?
I'm doing good.
Good.
Thank you for that that welcome. Appreciate that.
Hey, that's all you. I'm just giving the people what you already give to us, man. So I want to start off. How was 2020 for you, and what lessons are you taking into this current year? Because I mean, we're still pretty fresh, even though we're at the bottom half of February.
So 2020 was definitely different for us all, I think, with COVID-19 and being stuck in the house. But it taught me to make sure you know how to pivot when it's time to pivot, because 2020 threw a lot my way. That's when I decided to become a full-time entrepreneur, had my business, but working 9 to 5 and doing this part-time. But now, 2020 forced me to go ahead into full-time entrepreneurship. So just definitely knowing how to pivot and knowing that everything you need is in you, and you just got to really truly believe in yourself during challenging times.
Absolutely. So let's talk about that transition, right? So I was one of those people who started my business while working full time. And you see people on social media almost like they think they're elite because they're full time, and then there's other people that are part time entrepreneurs. How was it for you? Did you have a support system when you first started the business, even though you were doing it on a part time basis?
Um, Not really. I didn't have a support system like, somebody actually helping me with the business or encouraging me to do it.
Yeah,
Um, no, but definitely have friends, that motivate me to, get it started, and, even if it's, at a small level, to just get it started and get it going.
absolutely. And when did you start the business? What year was that?
Well, I originally started the business back in 2017 with a partner. So we were doing, things together, but she ended up going down a different lane. So we dissolved our LLC, and I had started doing everything by myself probably in 2018, but I didn't like come up with a name and LLC again until January 1st, 2020. That was actually when I did it. That was like my number one goal for 2020 was to, do my LLC and stuff. So yeah.
And that's just so happened to be my birthday. So
Oh
that's a
yeah.
good day.
Your
You know what
birthday
I'm
was
saying?
inspiration.
Nah, the new year always gives you that different energy, right? Like it's just a different feel, especially for us that are entrepreneurs that come from starting our business while we were working. It's like, okay, I want to be closer to full-time entrepreneurship than I was last year. And obviously with you, you're doing that. So shout out to you. So tell people, what is Harvest Financial, and what all do you do under that umbrella?
Okay. So I like to look at Harvest Time Financial as a financial consulting firm. So we can consult people on everything finances. I mean, the primary thing I would say is that I'm a financial coach. So I want to coach my clients to financial success, but I did branch out and get other services. So we do credit repair, life insurance, taxes, and now loan funding.
Mm,
Um, but all those things lead back to your personal finance, because if that ain't together, then the other legs aren't going to work.
sure. So let's talk about like when it comes to your clients, who who do you primarily serve? Like what sit and when I say who, not like, black, white, woman, man,
Right.
but from a situational standpoint, why are people coming to Harvest Financial to get help with their finances?
I would say most of the people I work with are people who I feel like they make, maybe the middle class income, and they just haven't learned how to stop, living from that paycheck to paycheck. It's like they know, like, I make enough money a month, but obviously I'm not doing the right things with them, so just helping them see, make a few tweaks, because most of them know what to do. They just need somebody to motivate them to do it.
And hold them accountable, right? I think,
Exactly.
when it comes to financial coaching, people be like, so what's the main thing that you do for your clients? It's like, you hold them accountable, right? Like you're on the call with them weekly and they're telling you what they want to do. And you just gotta, like, literally say, hey, you said you were gonna do this, and
Yes,
you
right.
are, you do make enough money to get to these goals. So just hold them accountable is a phenomenal, I think, intangible thing, right? Like we can't sell accountability per se, but that's like the main ingredient in financial coaching. So um,
Yep.
that's good stuff. Now with the funding portion of Harvest Time, what I know it's personal and business funding, but like a lot of people are scared of loans, right? So do you also kind of coach people on how to even handle those funds into a right plan, so you don't mess around and
Get in
you
debt.
what happens when people get a boatload of money that if they're not ready for it, it can mean disaster. So talk to us about that.
Yep. So I definitely tell people they want to have a viable plan. So don't just come and get cash because you qualify, but have a plan on, how you're going to use it and how you're going to flip it. That's number one. Then number two, I tell them to think about taking part of the loan and using it as, to start paying back the loan. So you're not taking it, out of your, personal income every month. So that's one of the things I tell people to do. I'm like, if you get 20,000, but you really only need 15, take that 5 and use that to start, repaying back the loan. So it ain't coming out of, the things you're trying to do with the other cash. So that's some of the tips I give people, and definitely tell them, even though we don't require like a business plan, still have a plan though, because you don't want to get in the point where you got this money, you misuse it, and then now, you coming to me like, can you help me? My credit messed up. I'm in collections now, so we don't want that.
Right. Nah, for sure. That I've never really, only student loans would be something that I do tell people to do that with. Like, right, if you don't need all of these, or they're giving you a refund, just put that back onto the to your account. But with what you're saying, that's actually a good thing. Especially one of the biggest loans that's going on right now is those SBA loans, right? So
Yeah.
you're taking out probably more than what you need. That would be a good thing to do, man. So I appreciate that tip.
Mhm.
I want to also talk about, because you're somebody, again, with me and you are very similar, but then we have our things that, again, you do that I don't do, and that I do that you don't do. And one of those things where I'm always referring people to you with is life insurance.
Mhm.
So how long have you had your license to be able to provide that for people?
So I had my life insurance license for going on 3 years. So I got it in 2018.
Okay.
Um, and start working. I worked for a few companies on my little quick. I feel like it's not that much time, but working at all these different companies definitely helped, because you see how people approach things differently. But started off my career at Western and Southern, which was great because Western and Southern really trains you and gives you the game as far as life insurance. And then after that, worked for Black Bull, and then now I work for myself. So it's been an interesting journey, but I did learn a lot, and learn different ways to help people with life insurance. Whereas for me, all I knew it was for, when you die, people get the money and they
Right.
can pay, the funeral and all that good stuff.
Absolutely. And I think when you were working at Western and Southern, that's when me and you connected, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh
Mm-hmm.
yeah, that's good. So one of the questions that I have for you specifically with the life insurance is, like you said, there's more than just, the funds that you have in a life insurance policy is bigger than just the funeral, right? Can you touch on, like, what are some other things that you can pay for, or just leverage with that policy, and the different types, right? You got term life people, there's some people that are term. You got people that are like, hey, you can do universal, you can do whole life. So kind of talk about what you've been providing in the communities and how you help people to get a better understanding of their policy.
Okay. So definitely, I do it all as far as the different kind of life insurance. So term life, whole life, annuities. I don't have access to universal life anymore, but that's my least favorite one anyway, so I'm not mad about it. But
Right.
the I would say the bulk of insurance that I sell is definitely term life and whole life, and I don't have a favorite. Some people they say do term, or some people do whole life or universal. I don't do my approach like that. I go based off on my client's need and what they want the life insurance to do. Is how I recommend it. I don't recommend it on what I feel you should get. I recommend it on, what do you want the life insurance to do? What is your budget? Those type of things helps me recommend the best policy, for my clients.
Mm.
Um, so for those you don't know, term life um, sounds just like it. I mean, it's term. It ends, you have it for a certain amount of time, a certain term. Once that term is up, the life insurance goes away. A lot of people like term because it's cheap. You can get a whole bunch of insurance for a very cheap price. So people are fans of it because you could get 500,000. You may only be paying $30, $40 a month. So a lot of people like it. But the problem is, if you're not a person who is really building wealth and building up a way to leave a legacy, then you don't want to get term. And then once it's over, now you're older, you may be sick, or maybe you're not sick, but just by you being older, it's going to be a whole lot more money.
Mm-hmm.
And then you like, okay, well, I didn't build up wealth. Now I want to have something, to pass down my kids. Well, now it's going to be very hard for you to get insurance, or it's going to be very expensive. So you want to make sure that if you're going to go with term, that, and that's the only life insurance you're going to get, that you're building up, another way to leave a legacy. And then whole life, just how it sounds as well. You have it for your whole life as long as you continue to make the premium. And whole life has not only your death benefits, but also living benefits that a lot of people like building cash, and have the access to loans through your policy. So whole life can do a lot more. So for my clients who, I guess, price is not an issue, and they also want to build cash, and basically, a whole life policy is truly an asset. I, you know, tell them to get whole life. So it just depends.
Yeah, because I mean, with whole life, with the cash value, you can cash in, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
if I pay into a whole life policy for 20 years and that value is $60,000, I can cash that in. Whereas if I'm paying the same amount for term, if I stop paying, then there's no cash out, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's one feature that, again, a lot of people in our community just they're not aware of. And then you have, again, certain companies that's in our community that preach one thing as opposed to, like, seeing it like for you. And that's why I love referring people to you, because I know you're not going to just sell them on one thing so you can get a high commission. You're going to, analyze their situation, their future needs and desires, and then make that call. So no, that's good information. Let's talk about, the future, right? Where do you see Harvest Time Financial being over these next few years? Where do you want it to be?
So I definitely want to expand to having a life insurance team up under me. I definitely want to build that out in the future. So to have, agents up under me and become a general agent with the life insurance company. So I definitely want that. Be able to, employ people, teach them the game, and help them to help our community because a lot of people don't like to talk about life insurance because it can be
Right.
morbid and stuff like that. But it's honestly and truly needed, and it's a way to pass on a legacy tax free. I always tell people that it's a tax free benefit, whereas any other way you leave your family assets or money is going to be taxed. If you left money in a just a regular savings account, you pass away, guess what? Uncle Sam want his money off of that. If you leave a property, still got to pay property tax. Everything,
Mhm.
has a tax on it. Even people estates, they have estate taxes. So,
Yeah.
the rich and the wealthy, they use life insurance to pass on assets tax free. And then also tell their kids, hey, use the life insurance to pay these estate taxes as well. So that's not nothing you have to worry about when I'm gone. So,
Absolutely.
life insurance have a lot of benefits.
For sure. So it made me think, man, and again, it's funny. Every time we're talking, I always get ideas and stuff like that. I mean, it would be dope if you connect with those, 18, 19-year olds that are either finishing up high school or have already graduated. Like, I think it's important for our young people to start positioning other young people, right? You look at, Judas and the Messiah, right? The Black Messiah. Fred Hampton was 21 years old, leading a chapter of the Black Panther Party. Like, our young people are phenomenal at being able to organize, especially in the digital world. So that's just, we'll talk about it a little bit more. But I think, as we both are in the community, we can't forget about that next generation because I mean, there's always going to be 18-year-olds around. And like you said, the younger you are, when you start that policy, the better the cheaper it is, number one, but then you get to, have those benefits and get those larger amounts, man. So that's what's up. We'll wrap up in a minute. But I wanna get a couple questions out. I just, I always ask my guests a couple of, call them social media questions, I guess. So first one is, yeah, the common one. Would you take this is gonna be a different one. Would you take $10 million in cash, or would you do $6,000 a week for the rest of your life?
$10 million in cash.
Thank you. I knew the answer. Next one. If you could start a business with any 5 people in the world, who would it be?
Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos, hope I'm saying his last name right,
Mhm.
Oprah Winfrey, and Tyler Perry. Oh, I need one more, huh?
Yeah.
Or am I the 5th person?
No, you got another one.
Jay-Z.
Hey, that's a power that's a power team. That's what we call that. That's what's up, man. Next final question. What is a product or a service that, if anybody's watching this and they're like, I want to work with Harvest Time Financial, what's one of your products or services that people can get no matter where they're at in the world?
Probably would be, I was about to say life insurance, but that's not true because I'm not licensed everywhere. So definitely financial coaching and credit repair and taxes and funding. Everything except for life insurance, I can work with you no matter where you are.
That was the answer I was looking for, because again, in 2021, man, you do not have to be in our same city, right? You don't have to be in our same state. We can work with you, especially in the digital world. It ain't nothing to hop on a Zoom. It ain't nothing to hop on a call and get these finances together, man. That's the bottom line. Is there's no excuse on why we can't be better with our money, better with our planning for, we know death is the only guarantee in this world. So being able to prepare for that is essential. Let people know how they can contact you. How can they follow you going forward?
All right. So the business is pretty much the same on every platform. So Harvest Time Financial on Facebook, Harvest Time Financial on Instagram, website harvesttimefinancial.com, email harvesttimefinancial@gmail.com. So I make it very easy as far as to find my company. But I will say most of my content is on my personal page and on IG. So that's Miss Ashley, 2Real, the number 2. Miss Ashley, 2Real. And that's how you can find me.
And all of that will be in the show notes if you're listening, as well as the description if you're watching on YouTube, man. So, Ashley, it's always a pleasure. I always enjoy our conversations. I enjoy us working together. I enjoy just watching you grow and continue to build that online presence, because I know it's needed. And I know what you do is super valuable. And for those watching and listening to this, understand that me and her both, if you look at it from the outside looking in, we compete for the same business. Like if we're being real, right? Like we compete for the same type of business, but we're not in competition. Like I literally refer people to Ashley all the time. And it's because I know where I'm trying to be in 5-10 years, and that's not going to interfere with me taking money from or taking clients from Ashley or anybody in the financial field. Like collaboration is better than competition for me. So I'm going to always, I'm going to continue to support you, man, and always be there for you, man. So I appreciate it, and look forward to everything that we're doing and we're building. For those watching and listening to, man, again, remember, follow Ashley on social media if that's what you do. Contact her if you need life insurance, taxes, any funding. She does it all. Harvest Time Financial is that hub. So make sure you tap in. So remember, guys, financial success, it happens on purpose, and success does not visit the lazy. Thanks for tuning in to another episode of the Money Mondays podcast. Take care.
Peace.